If a high school with 4 grades, 9th through 12th, has a total of T students, the average number of students per grade is T divided by 4. If a high school has 860 students, what is the average number of students per grade? So let's see how we can work this out. So they've given us an algebraic expression here, T divided by 4. So let's jot that down out of the problem. We've got T divided by 4. And notice when I wrote down the T, I kept it in uppercase. We want to be sure that we keep the case of the variable constant. So if it's given as a capital letter, we want to be sure it stays capital. If it's given lowercase, we want to keep it lowercase. And it does make a difference, so just be attentive to that. So what have they told us? They've told us that T, capital T, is the total number of students in the high school. And then they go on to tell us that a high school has 860 students. So let's evaluate this expression. We're going to evaluate for T equals 860. Because that's what this information is telling us right here. So we're going to come over to our expression and we're going to take out the T. We're going to isolate it in its little isolation booth, the little parenthesis isolation booth. We're going to slip the T out and we're going to put in the 860. And then we're going to bring down the rest of the pieces. Okay? So 860 divided by 4. When you look at that, you might say, well, would I really have to put the parentheses here? And we wouldn't necessarily need the parentheses in this problem. It would be the same thing if we just wrote it as 860 divided by 4 without the parentheses. But those parentheses can be really helpful for some of our evaluating problems. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing that consistently. So now we have to, now that we have done our substitution steps, so notice here what we did is we substituted in the value. So here we're doing substitution. We're putting in the value for the variable. And now we need to calculate or actually do the simplifying step. Write this in its simplest form. Simplify this expression. Let's do the division. Well, let's say we don't get to use a calculator for this. So if we have to do 860, we're going to divide it by 4. And now let's go ahead and do the division. Well, 4 goes into 8 twice. And 2 times 4 is 8. So we do the subtraction. That comes out to be 0. And then we bring down the next digit is 6. 4 goes into 6 once. 4 times 1 is 4. And when we do the subtraction, we have a 2. And then we bring down the next digit, which is 0. And 4 goes into 20 5 times. And so let's say, okay, so what exactly did we do here? We took 860 divided by 4. Remember, that came from T divided by 4. T divided by 4, the problem said, was the average number of students per grade. So now that we've got all of our work done, we can answer the question. We want to answer it in a complete sentence. So we're going to say the average number of students per grade is 215. So we're putting the answer that we came from our math into an English sentence so we can clearly communicate with whoever it is that's asking this question what our final answer is. So this is how we would write the final answer for this problem.